Hello everyone, my name is Randy with By Design Group. In this session I'm going to walk you through some of the functions within the 4TaxClinics application for a user with the role bookings. And this user with that role can create a client, can book an appointment between the client and the clinic, can change appointment date and time, can update the appointment status, and also set the appointment to canceled. There is one prerequisite in order to book an appointment between a client and a clinic, and that is there must be one or more tax returner volunteers that have set the hours that they are volunteering at that particular clinic, because there must be someone available to do the tax return at that date and time in order to book the appointment. Let's now switch over to the application for TaxClinics. And you'll see here that this particular user named Zed has the role of bookings in their profile. And Zed also has the ability to book appointments for 3 different clinics as listed here. Before I book an appointment with a new client, let's first click on the Appointments tab, go to the calendar, and the system is now retrieving the appointments for the 3 different clinics as listed here along the top. Defaults to the first one being Canada West, and Zed can now scroll through and view the existing appointments in the database. The appointment openings are shown in the white cells, and where the clinic is not operating is shown in the gray cells. Let's now click on Clients, Manage, and create a new client. Let's say it's David Root. And you can see the mandatory fields are displayed with an asterisk beside the description of that particular field. And we need an address, and this of course should be a real address. And the city we're going to use is Ottawa. The postal code must match the mask, and we have province is a mandatory field. And number of dependents, let's say is 0. Income types, so from the drop down here you can ask the client what are the different income types that they want to file for, and check all that are appropriate. Marital status is single, for example. Preferred languages you can simply choose from the drop down. And the preferred reminder, you can either select the primary phone or secondary phone in order for them to be notified of their upcoming appointment. It'd be nice to know how they heard of the clinic. And the last section is to determine if there are any potential reasons why they may not be eligible for using your clinic. If any of these are selected, it unchecks the eligibility checkbox, but you can still actually book an appointment for them. And this is something you can get to further understanding from your coordinator on the use of these particular fields. Now we'll hit submit. And at this point, the system is now finding that particular address on the map. And you can see there is now a pin here for that particular address. I'm going to scroll out just by scrolling my wheel on the mouse. And as per the person's profile, there actually are 3 clinics on the map. And it zoomed into this client's address initially and displayed that clinic. So the instructions at the top are to click on a clinic catchment area to book an appointment for David Root. And obviously the Canada clinic makes the most sense since that's the closest to him. Upon clicking on that catchment area, a calendar comes up, and this now shows when there are openings for them to make an appointment. Let's go to the next week, and we'll click and ask David, is 8 o'clock on the 4th okay? If it is, simply click on that particular day, and when the day shows up, click on the desired time. I'll choose 8 o'clock. And here you'll see that you have the opportunity to adjust the family size and also the number of returns that David may want to file. If it's only 1 year, the default is fine, but he may have 2 different years that he may want to do a return for. You could enter any applicable notes that David may give you. The other purpose of number of returns, if David was married and both him and his wife are coming in, this could be changed to 2, so the duration changes accordingly. And so after I change it from a 1 to a 2, it adjusts the appointment length to 1 hour based on that entry. You can also select the preferred language that David would like to operate in. And also, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, there is a prerequisite that at least one volunteer has put in their times to do the tax preparing. And we actually have 2 listed here. Let's choose the first one, and this particular volunteer has listed English as their language. Now when we click OK, you'll see that there is an indication here that the appointment has been created. And if I scroll down, you see here that March 4th has now been booked for David Root. The status of the appointment is new, and it's booked with presently J Volunteer, and that's at the Canada West Clinic. So the prerequisite was in place where a tax returner had set volunteer hours for that particular day. We've now created the client, and we've now booked an appointment between the client and the clinic. So the next function is changing the appointment date or time. So let's say David now calls back in a day or 2 or a week later and wants to make a change. So going back to the application, 2 methods. One is we go to the client screen, click on Manage, and David Root calls back in. You'll see now, once I've put his first and last name in, it shows that there's a potential client match shown below. If I scroll down, you'll see that David Root has in fact been listed here. Another method to display existing clients in the database is simply to put in their address. So if I copy this particular address here, go back out of this screen, click on Clients Manage, and paste in that address, you'll see here that just with the address, it's showing that there's possible matches. Again, scrolling down, it shows David Root here. The system knows that an appointment has already been booked for David, and so you could now click on the reschedule the appointment. And when you do that, it goes to Canada West, since that's the clinic that his appointment has been booked. Again, it shows his location on the map and also the time. And so David now indicates that he would prefer Wednesday and at 10 o'clock in the morning. So I drag that appointment over, and I get a pop-up indicating now that it's at 10 a.m. So in terms of the appointment change reason, he may communicate that he had work on Monday and could not make it in. And once you've put in that reason for the change, simply click on OK. And now the appointment has been changed in the application to the 6th of March. Another method for changing the appointment time is to actually go to the appointment calendar. David indicated that he had an appointment at Canada West on March 6th. Scroll over to that record and click on the pencil in the top left. You now go into edit mode for that particular appointment. The map shows him again in the top of the screen, and you could now change the appointment time again simply by dragging that over, adding the change reason again if appropriate, and clicking OK. And now the appointment has been changed in the application to noon on Wednesday. So we've now changed the appointment date and time. Let's now update the appointment status. So this could be one of the reasons to update the status is maybe someone has gone through the appointments for the next day and made the phone calls just to remind the clients of their upcoming appointment. So we can now go to the appointments on the calendar, go over to, let's say it's now the 5th of March and we're calling everybody for tomorrow. Click on the appointment and scroll down to the appointment status and select the new status here. Any notes that you may want to enter. Hit click on submit, and now you'll see that the status has been changed, so the next person viewing this can see that a reminder has been completed for David. So you can use any of the statuses that are available in the drop-down. It's up to each clinic on how they use these. Select the new status, click submit, and now the record changes in the calendar. The last item for this session is canceling the appointment. The same process, simply click on the record, either find the appointment by putting in the user or scroll through the calendar and scroll to the bottom of the drop-down and click cancel. And here you can put in a reason of why they're canceling. Click submit. This appointment record actually does not get deleted from the system, so it will stay connected to this particular client, David Root. So should David call in sometime in the future, we could see that he did have an appointment which was then subsequently canceled. So that completes the functions in this session for a user with the role of bookings.